We don't have any screens
We
out
got
here.
nothing here. I suppose he's already taping and we... There we go. All right, we're ready to go. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Library Board meeting. It's 4 p.m. on Thursday, August 11th, 2022. We're in the City Hall Council chambers. We have a quorum, and so we'll move forward. The agenda, which we all have in our packets, calls for the first thing to be an approval of the agenda. So I will take a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion about that? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we have an agenda, and the next item is the approval of the minutes from our July 14th, 2022 Library Board meeting. And we have those in our packet. We've had a chance to review them. I'll take a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we have approval of the minutes, and now we can move on to the financial report. April?
We are 58.08% through 2022. Our budget is approximately 45.7% expended. Bills that we paid during July included $264 to Demco for materials processing, so books, DVDs, audiobooks. $217 to the University of Minnesota, the Minitex department for a barcode scanner, and $200 to the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry for the annual operating licenses for the 2 elevators in the library. I just wanted to give the board a heads up that I did talk to the finance director today about spending some of the money in the 212 account, the children's memorial, on some shelving for the children's room that's wobbly that we would like to replace for safety concerns. She said that we probably didn't need library board approval for that, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that we are looking to spend between $6,000 to $8,000 on that shelving, and that would be for that middle section of the children's room where the DVDs and readers are.
That'd be good.
Good idea. No, it's a safety concern.
Right,
Yeah, there's no reason to delay
right.
whatsoever. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody have any other comments about the financial report?
Yeah, April, the differential in the where we are in our budget year and from what's been spent is roughly 12 or 13%. What does that translate to in terms of dollars, and do you anticipate that to stay steady through the end of the year?
Some of it, I don't have a dollar amount for you at this point, but I could certainly bring that at our next board meeting. But some of that is attributed to low spending in our audio-visual line. Some of that funding has been hard to spend, especially in the children's and nonfiction departments, because there's just less available on DVD for us to purchase for those departments. We are looking at other ways we could use those funds this year, including moving some of it to purchases for our Library of Things, which has circulated well, especially this summer, or to contribute a little bit more to the overdrive funding for the region, because that circulation continues to increase. Some of that also would be things like our subscriptions and memberships. Typically, those bills are to EBSCO, who manages our magazine. Subscriptions is done in a large chunk. So there are bills like that that are still outstanding where we have large chunks of the bills left to pay. That would also be the case in our cataloging and processing line, where we'll pay another big chunk of around $17,000 to TDS later this year for their services to our library.
Thank you.
Good. Any other questions or comments or concerns about the financial report? Well, hearing none, we'll move on to the department activities report and the statistics. Again, we have those in our packet.
So some of the things I'd like to highlight from the activities report, the reference librarian has been proctoring a number of student tests this summer. We have some college students who are taking summer school courses online, and they need someone to proctor their midterms and final exams. So she did a number in July, and she's been doing more the first part of August, but I think we're kind of wrapped up with those summer courses, so I'm expecting those numbers to decrease a little bit as we move into fall. Leroy Harris, our Programming and Technology Services librarian, has had several requests to continue his Evaluating the News seminar. Well, not continue it, but to present the same content to other organizations, the most recent one being the Brown County chapter of the Minnesota Farmers Union. So he did that in July at the Sleepy Eye Community Center, and 29 people attended from across the county. So the word is out about how great that series was, so I'm expecting that we may have a few more requests for it throughout the community. And then Megan and I have been attending the TDS Policy Committee, which is meeting to discuss some of the cleanup projects we need to do in our integrated library system ahead of our migration to a new one in early 2023. So that's things like cleaning up patron accounts that have fines that are long expired. We're not likely to see those patrons back in the library because they've moved or other reasons. Things like cleaning up items that have been long missing, going through our collection and doing some more weeding of items that are outdated, dilapidated, need to be removed from the collection for a variety of reasons. We have an estimated go-live date at this time of March 2nd, 2023. So we'll be continuing those cleanup projects through the fall until they start migrating some of the data. And then we'll start training later this fall as well for our staff. And then I omitted the programming calendar from your board packet, but it is available at our website at newulmlibrary.org. Two of the programs I wanted to highlight for August are our U.S. Dakota War programs. The first is Tuesday, August 16th at 6:30. Colin Mustful, an author who has presented on the Dakota War for us before, will be talking about the historical context of the war and the consequences of the war. That was funded by an Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund grant through TDS. And then on Tuesday, August 23rd at 6:30, another presentation on the U.S. Dakota War will be presented by John Labatt, who has presented in the past on this topic as well, and he'll be talking about the chronology of the conflict in Brown County. And our children's programming is taking a break for August, while Catherine kind of takes a break, takes some vacation time, well-deserved, and does some of her planning for the fall. And then I also wanted to give an update on the long-term hotspot grant. I heard from Seth Erickson, the automation librarian at TDS this afternoon, and he is kind of leaning toward thinking that we're not likely to get that funding for TDS for those long-term hotspots, just based on the number of other entities that requested the funding, and some of those requests did come from libraries and communities and schools that are in greater need of some of the funding. So at this point, we are thinking that funding's not going to come through. TDS has decided to fund 100 of the long-term hotspots for the whole region. That would be down from about 550 of them for 2023, but the long-term future of the project is uncertain at this point.
Okay. Any questions or comments or things you want to lift up in that report? If anyone has a chance to listen to Leroy's Evaluating the News, do it. It's really good, really good. I can understand why people are excited about it. On to programming.
And I just had those two Dakota War
Oh,
programs
okay,
to mention.
excuse me. Building update.
Building update. The power and window washing, both the interior and exterior windows, is complete. The landscaping has not been scheduled yet, but they do have us on their list of projects to complete before the end of the summer. The roof replacement on the south end of the building began on Tuesday of this week, and we think they're likely to finish early next week, if not tomorrow, depending on how the weather holds up. We don't have any schedule yet for the replacement of the skylight or the HVAC units on that roof. It kind of depends on the other projects of those vendors that they have. But at this point, we're still looking at this fall as a timeline for those. I sent out a request for proposals for carpet replacement in the children's room on Monday, August 8th. That request for proposals is available on the city's website if you'd like to review it. I'm expecting to bring those carpet bids to our September meeting for the board's decision on those. And the bids close on Friday, September 2nd.
Okay. Any questions or comments about the building?
So are you happy with the power washing and the window cleaning?
Yes, the window cleaning looks sparkly. The power washing itself, they did a great job. We did talk about the power washing, and if we wanted to have a more detailed job where they really get off the grime that was not able to come off with just the straight power washing, it would require an acid wash. And so that's more expensive, and I would want to talk with the building official about how that would affect the stone, especially on the older building.
So is that the grime that's like more like at the top of the building where it's
Yeah.
kind of blackened?
Yeah. I did look at pictures before compared to now, and they did get rid of a lot of the nastier streaks, but you can still see that, where some of them were.
And then
Okay.
I also want to mention that I saw in the paper, you had the shout out, the kudos to the people who kept up the landscaping.
Yes.
Ellie Sweeney and
Karen Jensen,
Karen
yep.
Jensen. So good job on that. So are they still doing that then too, or?
They have been, yep. As their personal schedules allow, they come and water. They've done a little bit of weeding for us, just keeping that up and
Yeah,
keeping it
it
looking
looks really
nice.
nice when you
Yeah.
drive by, so, okay.
Yeah.
Good, thank you for that. Anyone else have anything they want to talk about with regard to the building? Okay. Brown County Library Board?
The Brown County Library Board is scheduled to meet with the Brown County Commissioners and the County Administrator on Thursday, August 18th, so that's next Thursday, at 3:45 p.m. Regarding the budget appropriation for 2023. I'll remind the board that the Brown County Library Board has decided to ask for a $2,000 increase in county funding for 2023.
Okay. Well, let's move on to our action items. We have 3 resolutions. And the first resolution is number 2022-19 to accept Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund grant for programming. And at its July meeting, the Traverse des Sioux Regional Library awarded New Ulm Public Library with an Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund grant in the amount of $1,000 for 3 presentations by forensic psychologist and author Frank Weber. He will present at New Ulm, at the New Ulm Public Library on Monday, October 4th at 6:30 p.m., with presentations at the Springfield Public Library and Dyckman Free Library in Sleepy Eye to follow on October 25th and 26th. And he will speak about writing true crime forensic work in his latest book, Black and Blue. So we need a resolution. I'll accept a motion to accept this grant for Black and Blue.
So moved.
Second.
Second, motion and second? Well, that sounds like fun. Any other comments or questions about this author? Otherwise, Megan, do you want to call the roll?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, passed. Next resolution is approving the closing of the library on Friday, September 30th, 2022 for training. And this is Resolution 2022-20. The library director requests that the library board approve closing the library for the entire day on Friday, September 30th, to allow time for staff training. Topics will include Alice, active shooter, oh dear, emergency call center procedures, CPR, AED refresher, first aid, and among other topics as time allows. The last time the library closed for an all-staff training meeting was a half a day on August 18th, 2021. The trainers will include the New Ulm Police Department and Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association. And the library director has confirmed that the city manager has no concerns with closing the library for training on September 30th. Any questions or comments or anything you want to note about this? It seems like it's important. Okay.
The emergency call center procedures, the library has agreed, kind of has a standing agreement with the Emergency Management Committee, which I attend those meetings, to utilize library staff to help with some of the call traffic that we would expect in a large-scale community or county emergency. And so this training is on to familiarize staff with how that procedure would go if we were called on to be helping in that situation. And we have enough new staff that I think it's important to review that.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to accept this, approve the closure.
So move.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, Megan, would you call the roll?
Yes.
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 Okay, passed. Okay, next, now our third and final resolution is resolution number 2022-21, approving recommendations to dispose of surplus items. The library is assessing technology and other items that have long been unused. These items have become old, outdated, dilapidated, broken, unneeded, and/or incompatible with the library's current technology. As these items accumulate over time, storage space fills up and becomes congested. None of these items has residual value to the library. The library director recommends that these items be designated surplus and either thrown away, recycled, or sold through the city's surplus project. Pictures of the items are attached. File cabinet, metal chair with fabric cushion, 2 of them, plastic cart, plastic whiteboard easel, plastic Adirondack chair, metal easel, technology rack, HP DeskJet 840C printer, HP LaserJet 4050N printer, Harman Kardon desktop computer speakers, IBM E72 computer monitor, Gateway VXI 130 computer monitor, Dell Dimension 4550 computer tower, Epson Perfection 12050 flatbed scanner, N-Motion automatic paper towel dispenser, Word Perfect version 5.2 software kit. That you don't have a picture of that. So, anyone have any questions about any of these surplus items? Hearing none, I will take a motion to accept the recommendation to dispose of these surplus items as indicated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Megan, would you call the roll?
Yes.
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 All right. Is there any other business to come before this board?
I forgot I wanted to ask April a question regarding her staff report earlier. Is that
Well,
okay to
go,
do?
no problem. We've got time.
You had mentioned, April, in your report that you and another staff person met with, virtually with a representative of the Minnesota workforce or some kind of a workforce group of the state?
Yeah, career force.
Career force.
Yes.
Could you describe a little bit about the nature of those discussions and what we might anticipate? Is something going to come of that?
Sure. Career Force has locations throughout Minnesota, and there actually is one in New Ulm. It's a shared location with a few other agencies, and they are really trying to kind of regain their footing in those communities after the pandemic, where they either did not have staff or did not have staff in the office or could not have their clientele in the office, all the different COVID situations that there were. And so they are reaching out to libraries and other stakeholders and communities to figure out how they might be able to partner with us or help us with the services that we are offering related to what they offer, or even if we would just be willing to provide a space for them to have some information available. Because we do have patrons who come into the library to use our computers to fill in online applications, type up their resumes, print things that they need for their job applications. And so we were an attractive partner for them for that. We did, when I first started at New Ulm Public Library, we did have a small station on a table where we had some materials, and that might be how this partnership looks at first. But we'll continue to explore how we might be able to combine our services, or at least advertise services for each other.
Very good. Sounds like.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to provide services to the community.
I did have one other item for other business. We've talked about having a committee, and I did ask some people to be on a committee at one time, and then we had postponed it for strategic planning due to being short-staffed, and I would like to start that process up again. So I just wanted to make the board aware that I will be reaching back out to those people who had indicated interest in that, to start seeing if we can schedule some meetings to discuss our strategic plan.
Great. Thank you. Anything else? Hearing nothing? Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.